Good evening and welcome to the August 8th meeting for the Board of School Trustees for Fort Wayne Community Schools. We have no public comment this evening regarding agenda topics, so we will begin with item 2 on our agenda, our call to order and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our roll call of members.
Good evening, Steve Corona from the 5th District.
Julie Hollingsworth from District 1.
Jennifer Mathias, District 2.
Maria Norman, Member at Large.
Riley Booker, 4th District.
Noah Smith, 3rd District.
And I am Ann Duff, Member at Large, and to my left is Angela Filler, the Clerk of the Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Daniel. This evening we are getting ready for back to school time. So our Fort Wayne Community School staff has been busy the past few weeks getting ready for the 2022-23 school year. So we have a video this evening that will highlight a few of their recent activities.
And I want to pick on Jack because I heard he was a guest speaker at the Ignite TED conference. Can you tell us, or tell me at least a little bit more about that? I'm not really familiar with that.
Yeah, so this was our 3rd annual conference. This is our 2nd one in person. COVID shut it down, so we did a virtual one. But this is where we showcase a lot of what we're doing to integrate technology into day-to-day instruction. So it's our own teachers, a lot of them, but then we also have guest speakers. This year we had John Carippo, who does edu protocols, but we try to discuss strategies and how to integrate technology into the instruction.
And is that just for our staff and faculty, or is it?
No, it is region-wide, so we broadcasted it throughout the region so people could come. We had some other school districts here as well.
I saw those cool shirts, I just wasn't sure what it was.
Well, it looks like we had lots of opportunities for staff and even for our community with our AmPlab open house, so thank you for that video. Any other questions about the video? Okay, we move on to our consent agenda, which includes the approval of our minutes, vouchers, and payroll, and our personnel report.
Move approved.
Second.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Raleigh. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And Dr. Daniel, did you have anything you wanted to mention on the personnel report?
We are working with Trine University in regards to transition to teachers. So if there are people who have a bachelor's degree and are interested in moving to the career of education, the most rewarding career there is, that we're open and willing to talk with people. So again, you only need a bachelor's, and you'd actually be teaching while you're finishing your educational component. So again, it's a golden opportunity. So it tells you what's happening across our country as well as our state. We're all in need of teachers. So universities are being, I'll say, more creative. But also, I think this approach, they literally are learning the FWCS way as they're on the job. And you can call it student teaching as well. And it's incorporated. It'll take the full 8 months to 9 months. But again, we need teachers. So that's the point.
I just thought of this question. Does it matter what my degree is in?
Does not matter.
So if I want to teach high school, I can have something that maybe is not a certain subject that we teach.
Correct.
They will work with you to.
They'll work with you. Now, you still have to pass the licensing exam from the state. So again, we'd need to work. So if you were interested in teaching math or science or something of that nature, again, you need to start looking through and examining what does that really mean to be able to pass the praxis. So, but again, we have thoughts on that as well. So how do we help people to better prepare for that examination? Because it is a licensing tool.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank
Yep.
you. Okay, we will move on to our new business then. First up is our renewal of insurance policies, and I believe that is Maria.
It is recommended that insurance coverage for boiler and equipment breakdown, property, general liability, inland marine, business, automotive, crime, cyber, and privacy liability, educators, legal liability, and excess liability be awarded through USI Insurance Services to 3 underwriting carriers for a premium of $1,209,958. The Cincinnati Insurance Company will underwrite the boiler explosion equipment breakdown policy. Chubb will underwrite the cyber and privacy liability policy, and American Family Home Insurance Company will be our insurance company for all other policies, and Wright Specialty Insurance will remain the underwriter. Total premium increased $48,545, or about 4% with this renewal effective September 1, 2022. Director of Fiscal Affairs Stephen Pittenger and CJ Mills with USI Insurance Services will be available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Maria. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
So motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Jennifer. Thank you, Maria. And do we have any questions for Stefan?
Have we had any claims on these policies in the past 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be claims on, but property, not so much. We have a $50,000 deductible on property, so it takes a pretty good incident to reach that threshold. But auto, you know, the buses, yeah, we have bus claims routinely, but.
Any of the cyber or privacy or equipment breakdown or boiler?
No cyber, no boiler, and what was the other? Liability?
Privacy?
Oh. No. No.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Unless anybody had something else. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the Carl D. Perkins Continuation Grant. Julie?
It's recommended that the board approve the acceptance of the Carl D. Perkins Continuation Grant for 22-23 in the amount of $1,094,976 for the Career Academy from the Indiana Department of Education and the Governor's Workforce Cabinet. The funds in this year's grant are designated for personnel, professional learning, instructional materials, end-of-course assessment fees, supplies, equipment, and purchase services. This is a non-competitive grant which supports services for career and technical education students. The grant is written by Jesse Webb, Director of the Career and Technical Education Area 14, along with Sandra Adams, Assistant Director of the Career and Technical Education Area 14. Fort Wayne Community Schools is the fiscal agent for these funds, and there is no requirement to match the grant with local funds. Jesse Webb, Principal Director of the Career Academy, is available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Steve. And do you have any questions for Jesse? Okay, seeing there are none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the Donwood Foundation Grant. Jennifer?
It is recommended that the board approve the acceptance of the Donwood Foundation Grant for 2022-2023 in the amount of $81,000. These grant funds will be used to upgrade equipment in the welding lab located at the automotive building. This is a non-competitive grant which supports services for career and technical education students. The grant is written by Sandra Adams, Assistant Director of the Career and Technical Education Area 14, along with Jesse Webb, Director of the Career and Technical Education Area 14. Fort Wayne Community Schools is the fiscal agent for these funds, and there is no requirement to match the grant with the local funds. And Jesse is still here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Noah. Any questions for Jesse?
I do. So this is a different setup than what we had at across the street. Are these portable units that they could move from around in the building, or how is the setup, Jesse?
No, this is to create 7 additional welding bays so that we are one-to-one with welders for each student.
Wow.
And we had to replace the outdated plasma cutter and the outdated Piranha metal cutter.
Okay.
How many welders will you have that you're going to be one-to-one in total?
We will be right around 20.
Anything else? Thank you, Jesse. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Noah, CMC contract amendment for Scott Academy.
So recommend the board approve the second contract amendment with Wygen Construction Company, Inc. as part of the construction manager as constructor contract, CMC, for the addition of Levon Scott Academy previously approved on October 25th, 2021. It's also recommended the board approve the following construction contract for temperature controls of Levon Scott from Automated Logic for $329,000. The bid packages for the Wygen bid is going from an amended amount of $7,870,909 to the new amount of $14,708,247. Excuse me. The expansion of Levon Scott consists of an addition to the building and site improvements to create 5 section elementary schools to address the growing population in the Southeast District. The contract procurement method for this project is the construction manager as a contractor, also known as CNC, for publicly funded projects as allowable per IC 5-32. This amendment represents bid packages 10 through 21, and along with the previous amendment approved at the May 23, 2022 board meeting, this amendment establishes the final overall guaranteed maximum price for the project. The existing building automation systems controls are proprietary, and Automated Logic is a single source vendor for this work. These packages will be funded from a combination of 2020 School Basic Renewal Restoration and Safety Project and Nutrition Service Funds. The project is projected for completion by January 2024 And Darren Hess is now available for questions.
Thank you, Noah. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
Second.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Julie. And does anyone have any questions for Darren?
So Darren, so that makes the total for the project for Scott just a little over 15 million. So how does that compare with what we budgeted when we did the referendum?
It's, well, about 3 million over. We had budgeted just over 13, or just under 13 million.
Are prices abating at all or still going?
These prices came in favorable. I mean, they came in at what we had projected for the estimates as opposed to even higher escalation. So we're starting to see some regulation in them.
I see that it's not going to be complete till 2024. Where are we with it right as of now?
They just began site work this past week and a half, 2 weeks.
And how are supplies nowadays?
That's why we had those early packages. That included our structural steel package and a lot of our HVAC equipment. We are still looking almost a year out for a lot of items like that, steel, roofing, even windows.
And windows?
Yeah,
Will
the
we
biggest,
have things bought for this project? Is that right? Or?
we're in the process of buying it, yeah. So like when we approved that one back in May, I believe it was, we already started buying the steel package and buying the HVAC equipment and the roofing materials.
So this one will go shopping again for windows and things like that?
Yeah.
And I know you talked about this before, Darren, but the fact that this is $3 million over what we budgeted, that doesn't put the rest of the projects in jeopardy because we've...
Yeah, the ESSER dollars, don't quote me, I think it was like 10, 11 million that we were able to defer using ESSER dollars for the same scope of work that we were going to do, like windows and HVAC equipment in some of these buildings.
Right.
So unless escalation continues, we should be able to still hit all the scope items that we wanted to accomplish with the Repair 2020 bond.
Anything else? Thank you, Darren. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, and next up, Steve.
It's recommended the board approve a second contract amendment with Michael Kinder and Sons as part of the construction manager's constructor contract for the renovations of Arlington and Lincoln Elementary Schools as last amended on February 14th, 2022. The amended amount is $93,668 for an amended contract amount of $14,056,596.29. The initial contract was for architectural and engineering services. The First Amendment package established the final overall guaranteed maximum price for the project. This amendment package establishes the additional cost to provide temporary heating, cooling, and ventilation for this coming school year due to industry-related delays in the shipment of the permanent HVAC units. And again, this amendment will be funded with ESSER dollars, and Darren is still here.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Jennifer. And do we have additional questions for Darren? Okay, seeing there are none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I did, before we move to the next item, Madam Chair, I just wanted to ask Darren a question about Shawnee. I know they're finishing the parent,
Pickup?
what do you call it, pickup
Parent
lane?
pickup lane.
Is the asphalt down yet?
No, the asphalt plant was supposed to do it today and it broke down. So
Oh,
we're
no.
planning on doing it Wednesday. We're going to do it after arrival and have it done by dismissal.
Thank you.
Okay, student furniture at Wayne and Wayne New Tech. Raleigh?
It is recommended that the board approve the purchase of student furniture for Wayne High School and Wayne New Tech from VS America Inc. of Charlotte, North Carolina for $56,370.60 and Sharp School Services of Hobart, Indiana for $138,668.79. This purchase will provide workspace and seating for 3 new art rooms at Wayne High School. New furniture will also be provided for the new commons area, art room, mass media, and audio-video classrooms at Wayne New Tech. FWCS was able to secure pricing that is below pricing available through Omnia and PEPPM National Purchasing Cooperatives. Indiana law does not require public bidding for purchases made at or below these approved cooperative purchasing entities. Funding will be from 2020 School Basic Renewal Restoration and Safety Project funds. Rod Rathke, Director of Purchasing Services, and Darren Hess, Director of Facilities, will be available to answer questions.
Thank you, Raleigh. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
I move approval.
Second.
Thank you, Raleigh. Thank you, Noah. And any questions for Rod or Darren?
When do we anticipate the furniture being on site?
We're hoping early fall, late October timeframe.
And that construction's not supposed to be done until next year too,
Well, 2 years.
right? 25?
2 years, yes.
Supposed to be,
These will be the areas that are ready to get furniture. It's for the expanded program classrooms. It's the 24-25 school year.
Anything else? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Computer security software, it is recommended that the board approve a 3-year contract for the purchase of an endpoint detection and response software package from Sentinel Technologies of Downers Grove, Illinois for $249,550. Annual payments of $83,183.33 will be made. The software package provides comprehensive protection, detection, and response and user access coverage to defend against threats to our devices. Sentinel Technologies, Inc. is the registered partner for this purchase, and they received the best possible pricing of any partner from the software developer. This pricing is also below prices available through Omnia and Sourcewell National Purchasing Cooperatives, as well as below Indiana State QPA Quantity Purchasing Agreement pricing. Indiana law does not require public bidding for purchases made at or below approved cooperative purchasing entities and/or state QPA pricing. Funding will come from Operations Fund, and Kevin Grubel, Manager of Technology, will be available to answer questions. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
So motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Jennifer. Thank you, Maria. And any questions for Kevin?
so this is like our cybersecurity software or something more different than that?
It's a little bit of combination of both. So our current antivirus software has reached its contract, so we had to go out for renewal. And to stay in compliance with our cybersecurity insurance, we did have to look for a new vendor. That was a more comprehensive product.
And so we're paying for it over 3 years. Is it done after that, or will we have to?
At the end of 3 years, we'll have to reevaluate. Technology changes so frequent that we figured a 3-year contract, price lock-in was our best bet.
Anything else? Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry, real quick. Does that include student devices and everything too?
Yes, every device that's on our network, yes.
Anything else? Thank
That's
you.
it, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and we are ready for Employability Skills Innovation and Implementation Grant, and that is Maria.
It is recommended that the board approve the acceptance of the IDOE's Employability Skills Innovation and Implementation Grant in the amount of $324,473 for the 22-23 school year. The purpose of this grant is to encourage and support schools as they work to embed into their curriculum the 3 Indiana employability skills of communication, collaboration, and work ethic. It has been shown that these skills are as important to a student's career path as increased educational attainment. The grant provides equipment, supplies, and professional learning for AMP Lab, Adams Elementary School, and the FWCS experience at the Jim Kelly Career Pathways Center. Mitch Shepard, Director of Philanthropy, will be available to answer questions.
Thank you, Maria. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
Move approved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Jennifer. And do we have any questions?
So what kind of things are you going to buy to help provide professional learning experiences, or, excuse me?
This is an extremely innovative project.
Yeah. Well, but the one question you can answer, they can't, is this a competitive grant, or is this?
Yes.
Okay.
So from my perspective, we really looked at, we have the goal of, you hear about those 3 skills and others all the time, but how do you help a graduating senior visualize them? And so in backtracking, we have really been working through the lens of the Adams kind of redesign launch, and what does it look like to support the marriage of that skill attainment with the curriculum at the elementary level, and then watch it matriculate up. So there is a marriage of resources for Adams that I'll let Allie share about, but then really at the middle school and high school level, it's about badging structure. At the middle school, how do we create the opportunity for students to connect the learning they've done in the curriculum to those skills? And so by using badging to help them kind of identify, this is how I think I've demonstrated either my growth or proficiency in those skills. And then ultimately with us, it's really around a concept called the mastery transcript, which is a resource that allows students to take that visualization of those skills with them as they pursue employment or post-secondary options. So essentially it's a way to validate those experiences and the growth and mastery of those skills over time.
What do you mean by badging?
Yeah, so if you think of badging or micro-credentials are really the 2 terms that it is a way to take a experience or a set of evidence and validate it. So if a student, for example, at the Kelly Career Center, if they participate in a career cluster activity and successfully show how what they've learned in math or English and science supports pursuing an interest in that career, then they're going to be able to earn a badge that helps matriculate to kind of whatever that chosen pathway in high school is. And then ultimately for the kids that end up with us, that comes to life in kind of that transcript.
So at the elementary level, we feel like it's important for our kids to have exposure starting in pre-K, and that's something that's not really that robust. It's usually just JA in a day or just random books that we learn about. And so there's 2 features to what we're doing at Adams. One is where we have teamed our students, and so they're on a K-5 team. There's 2 different teams. We're a small school, so we only needed 2 teams. And so on that team, students can go amongst the grade levels. We're kind of throwing out the word grade level for them, so that if they are a 3rd grade student, a traditional 3rd grade student, but they are missing skills from their 1st grade year, they'll be able to go to the 1st grade teacher on their team and get those skills to hopefully accelerate them. But then also the students who are beyond that, they're going to be able to also meet with the teachers that are at their ability level. So that's one big feature. That's a big task that our teachers are really excited about. But every time I've talked with families, they're very pumped about this idea because of the pandemic. In general, we're about 2 grade levels behind, and we're not okay with that. And so we're not just gonna be like, okay, yep, we're gonna do something about it. So that's what we're doing. The other big feature is the careers. And so our entire school, in partnership with AmpLab and Riley, we have 6 career clusters. And so at the elementary level, it's just that exposure. We have partnership with JA that is way more robust than just JA in a day. They're gonna send people out from the field based off that cluster weekly, so that we'll have people out in the community come in so the students can learn from them. But then students are going to, so we have 2 sections in the afternoon. So we have our special section, which they'll go to their normal specials. We do have add an additional special called exploration. So they're going to learn all those soft skills. So when they go back to collaborate, they have all of those. But then when they're not in specials, it'll be their career block. So in that 2.5-hour time, it will be where they focus on the career cluster that we are focusing on for that 6 weeks, but also have the opportunity to kind of hone in on the specific skills that maybe they didn't get in their academic blocks in the morning.
Very good, thank you.
So I'm familiar with badges. My son worked for Salesforce, and I know in their internal system, he could develop or establish or prove to his boss that he acquired certain competencies or skills by going to a class that might be online. So what I'm trying to figure out is, what are we buying here? Are we buying the tracking system to identify the badges that a student collects? Are we buying the training material? What are we buying here?
So for Adams, we are buying the collaborative furniture. If you've been out of Adams, our furniture is old and it's not conducive to what our students need. And so that's one big aspect is that.
Okay.
But then also digital signage and actual things. So we have a big chunk of our grant is career kits. So all
Career
of the
what?
career kits.
Okay.
And so we'll have technology kits, but we'll also have gardening kits and different things like that that we'll use in our exploration time, but then also in our career block.
So I've got this gardening kit, and how do I get a badge for whatever I'm doing?
So
with
we're
this
not
kit?
doing the badging just
You're not
yet.
doing badging?
Correct. That's more, but that's what we're purchasing at Adams with the grant. All those things.
Can you expand a little bit on the partnership between Adams and AmpLab?
So this actually came with, as an Adams staff, we knew our kids needed something different, given the pass rate for iLearn, but then just also knowing that they deserve better and that their skills that they have outside of school are not being utilized within the academic time, and so we wanted to bridge the gap. So it started with looking at our schedule, what can we do to completely throw it out to give them something new, and so then enter Riley. And so we just started having conversations. He would meet with just me, and then he met with our QIT, and just the whole idea of the exposure of careers, and then also having the kids see this is where I could go within Fort Wayne Community Schools at this age. We don't need to wait till middle school. We want them to get excited now, and we want the families to get excited now too, so they keep their kids here in Fort Wayne Community Schools, and specifically Adams.
So then I'll bridge that. So there's a resource called Classcraft, which essentially gamifies the badging experience for the K-8 world. So Allie will be utilizing that. There is some resources attached to support that Jim Kelly Career Pathway Center experience. And then at the AmpLab level, our focus is on the use of that mastery transcript. And then unfortunately, I laugh as the dog yet to be named appears to be everywhere now. We have some financial resources to expand our kind of emerging future technology opportunities. So the juniors and seniors, as they work with our community partners, we've got cutting edge resources internally for them to engage in an experience and then translate that into evidence that goes into their mastery transcript.
For a badging experience program to work, there has to be acceptance by the community that there is any value to this. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, so the nice thing is we look at that kind of K-8 world, it's really the internal validation. And then as we look at the high school matriculation, we've worked with both Greater Fort Wayne and the regional partnership on rolling out the concept of that mastery transcript to them to get them, and I knock on wood because we're not there yet, but we believe that both of those organizations right now, behind the spirit of what AmpLab is going to co-sponsor that mastery transcript with us.
Does this in any way bleed over into the district's Ideal Graduate Initiative?
So glad that you asked. Both of the agencies that Riley mentioned are also supporters of this grant and wrote in support of the grant. But as we develop the ideal graduate piece, we're mining and looking for what are these skills and talents that are going to employ our students. And this program is absolutely in lockstep with both developing those skills, but providing the proof. It's not unlike being 10 years old and already having a resume. It means that what you have earned, you also own, and you can share and you can communicate. And as the state of Indiana moves forward in this vein, it's going to mean that we're leading the way. Being a former PIO, I always say, what's the headline? And what happened tonight that's newsworthy? Well, in addition to the fact that what we're doing at AmpLab is extremely cutting edge, and what we're doing at the Kelly Center is extremely cutting edge, a year from now, you're going to be learning that Fort Wayne Community Schools is leading the state by having an elementary school. Elementary schools are talking about this. Very, very few of them are doing it. I don't know of one in Indiana that's doing it. And with all the support that we have received from the business community and the economic development community, it is really driving that forward that we start in pre-K.
And so this is a competitive grant, you said, and we've already been awarded it, now we're just approving whether we accept it or not?
I'm sorry, say again?
So you indicate it's a competitive grant, and so it's been awarded to us, now we just have to accept it?
We simply accept it and spend according to plan and share with you frequently how well it's going.
Okay. Well, congratulations on getting that award.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are we ready for our board meeting schedule? Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we're on I, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it is recommended that the board approve the schedule for the 2023 board meetings. Meetings are held at 6 p.m. on Monday evenings in the boardroom at the Greil Administration Building. And generally, dates considered are the second and fourth Mondays of each month, except May, which has 3 meetings. We've also eliminated a meeting in January, I believe, and no meeting after spring break. Otherwise, it's very similar to our previous years. Is there a motion on the floor for approval?
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that ends our business portion of the meeting. So I guess we are ready for board comments.
Looking forward to the new year. I don't know what else to say. It's been a busy time, and good day today at Parkview, and ready to roll.
Yeah, I just want to wish all of our staff, teachers, and bus drivers, and cafeteria workers, and custodians, and everybody a great school year, and hopefully we'll get off to a good start this week. Parents, you parents of kindergartners and 4-year-olds, good luck. We'll take good care of them. That's always the most exciting part of visiting any elementary school and on the first day of school. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I'm looking forward to it on Wednesday.
So, I had a lot of fun out there today too, so thank you, Dr. Daniel, for organizing and starting that energy. I think there was a lot of people that, it's the end of summer, but we kicked off with something kind of really fun for everybody, and I enjoyed seeing all the faces out there that I know and welcoming others that I didn't, and just being a part of that and knowing that we're headed into a new school year and bringing some good energy to it. So here's to rah-rah new school year.
Well, I'll just echo everything that everyone has said. I'm really excited for this school year. I have a 6th grader, so emotionally I'm a wreck, but sorry, I just had him last week, so he can't possibly be in 6th grade. Yeah, just good luck, and I know that all of our staff members will do a fabulous job. Cheers to a good year.
It was great going out this morning and seeing a lot of familiar faces and faces that I hadn't met before. The energy was amazing at the beginning of of the program, so that was fun. Excited to start a new school year. My boys are excited too. I have a sixth grader this year as well, and I really think I'm more stressed and nervous about him starting middle school than he actually is, so please send me all of your positive energy. Just excited to start. I hope we have a wonderful year. I think we're off to a great start.
I'll echo the fun this morning we had, and a shout out to the Frankie Park gentleman who was quite the cheerleader out there for them. I have a senior this year, and it's my last one. Jennifer has a senior as well. Our daughter's been friends for a long time, but I know Jennifer's got one more, so that's just wait a few more years, it gets even tougher then. Shout out to Riley Johnson, his team at Amp Lab. They had a great open house last week. A lot of people I wouldn't expect to see were there, just checking it out and being a little bit nosy, which is fine. It's a great community. It's a jewel of our community, and we're real excited. I know from our level, and I know this guy is, to see it go and come into fruition. And then as my daughter's attending there, I'm really excited to see how it plays out. So, like everybody said, good luck this Wednesday and this coming year, and stay away COVID and monkeypox and whatever else may be out there.
Don't say that. Dr. Dina.
So the block party this past Saturday, I'm reading from Katerina DiBiasio. She said we had 50 community partners present along with 12 Fort Wayne Community School tables. They were able to give away over 500 backpacks filled with school supplies. Also, free haircuts, immunizations, games, music, and more. We probably have between 2,300 to 2,500 attendees present throughout the day, and most returning Fort Wayne Community School families. So we did have a few mention they were brand new to the district, and she said overall it was a day full of smiles and grateful hearts. So I just want to say thank you for those folks who volunteered their time but also filled those backpacks. We do have, it makes a difference for our kids. So, and then with today starting off, I think the energy, as you've explained, we're just trying to charge batteries for all levels of from our kids to our teachers, to our staff, and I think we're ready for the new year. So, can't wait to start on Wednesday.
Yeah. I just want to echo what Noah said. I was amazed by the community support of Amp Lab at the open house. I mean, I got there maybe 5 minutes after 5 and thought, oh, I'll be here and there won't be anybody here yet. And the parking lot was packed, and it was only a couple minutes after 5 o'clock. So it was really neat to see, not just community members, but other staff members and teachers and retired teachers. And so it was kind of like a big party. Got to see a lot of people I knew. And one of the highlights was seeing a couple of Northside students who were just so excited about, getting to go there. And they told us that, there were 200 kids that applied at Northside. So we were worried that we wouldn't be able to get in, but we did. And they were just so excited to have that opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see how it changes these kids' lives. I know those opportunities where it's your non-traditional school makes a huge difference. I was just talking to my son's computer programmer teacher at Anthus, and so, I told him if it wasn't for your class, my sons might still be lost right now. It just made, it gave him focus on what he wanted to do, and now he's studying computer science in college. So those programs can make a huge difference for our kids. Also, I enjoyed today's event, and I talked this morning about how, sometimes our teachers don't realize what kind of impact they're making on students. Sometimes they may hear that, like it was for me. 35 or 40 years later, it finally dawned on me that this PE teacher I just thought was so mean and horrible was an amazing teacher. And unfortunately, if anybody knows anything about her, I think her first name was Jean Shear. And I Googled her about 8 years ago, and I had blogged about that same story, and then I Googled her just recently, and absolutely nothing. So I really don't know what happened to her. She's probably in her 80s, I would guess. But if anybody knows. But anyway, that wasn't the point of my rambling. The teachers also make an impact on parents. The relationships that my husband and I have built with the teachers is just wonderful. And I don't think we ever say that as parents, but my husband happened to sneak over to the ballpark because we live right next door, and he saw from our balcony you can see the big screen, and he saw my face on the big screen, so he ran over, and there I was talking. So he stayed. He enjoyed it, sneaking in. But anyway, afterwards, who did you see? Who did you talk to? Because you want to know what teachers I saw and what they asked, and and it was great because a lot of the people, whether they were the classroom assistants or the teachers or the principals, asked about my kids, and it just makes you feel good as a parent when they want to know what's happening in their lives, and teachers, and everybody, all the staff at the schools, you made a difference in my husband and my lives as well. So we appreciate that, and we will continue to keep in contact. So anyway, thank you. I want to
Move adjourned.
meeting to an end. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Speaker?
Speaker? Speaker. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we have a speaker. Thanks.